pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll call this meeting to order at 5:32 p.m. Any revisions? No revisions. Would someone like to make a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
Bunch.
I will second that.
By Schrader, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We can skip over letter A, it looks like. B, routine matters. Minutes of regular sessions of January 15th, 2026, claims 53801 through 54092, and payrolls for January 30th and February 13th.
I'll make an order or a motion to approve the minutes, claims, and payrolls as presented.
I would like to second that.
Motion made by Bunch, second by Schrader. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, communications. Mr. Mahaffey.
All right, for our highlight of the month, what we'd like to focus on tonight is athletics. A lot of times we do academic things and fine arts, but tonight is our athletic world that we want to talk about. First of all, I want to congratulate our girls wrestling team for their outstanding season, and specifically three of our athletes, Corey Hunnefeld, Jocelyn Dubon, and Maya Minke, who all advanced to the state finals. And an extra congratulations to Maya with her 7th place finish at the individual girls wrestling state finals. So a great job by those ladies.
And I want to add to that, not only congratulations, but how cool. First father-daughter state placers in school history. Congratulations.
Didn't think of it that way. Awesome.
Mom is the coach, that's pretty neat.
Yeah.
So congratulations. That's really cool.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
thank you.
Also, boys wrestling, we have a couple of athletes who are semi-state bound, Noah Ring and Owen Blessinger. And Owen is actually the first 3-time regional champion in our school history, so congratulations to those guys.
And Owen is actually state bound tomorrow. He has this round tomorrow.
Great. And in tennis, Coach Larry Kiefner was inducted into the Indiana High School Tennis Association Hall of Fame recently, so we want to congratulate him. And a couple of upcoming things: boys swimming sectional starts tonight and continues on Saturday, and the boys basketball sectional draw will be this week on Sunday. So good luck to those teams in their upcoming tournaments. Next, we want to go to our highlight presentation for the evening, and tonight it's all about our middle school. So we're going to bring up our wonderful, outstanding principal of our middle school, who has just done a terrific job out there. Eventually, we'll let the board in on some of the growth that's going on in our scores with our data. Our kids are just growing immensely out there, and it's some of the best growth I've seen in such a short period of time. And I'm going to give our teachers a lot of credit, but they also have to have a leader that motivates them to get that done. And Betsy's just doing a bang-up job out there. So we're going to turn it over to her, do a little presentation on our middle school at this time.
Sure.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm happy to be there. It's great staff. So I can't take credit for all of that. They work really hard. So I was asked to share a little bit of something. You'll get a sneak peek of some data here. So our motto is every student, every day. So we started talking about how at the middle school we could take that one step further and meet the needs of each student. And a reoccurring theme kept coming up, and that was our use of flex time. So we had flex time 5th, 6th, or 7th period, depending on if you're in 6th, 7th, or 8th grade. Flex time is where we had band and choir. If students were not in band and choir, they kind of had like a study hall, if you will, and math and language arts teachers were trying to pull those same kids. I want them for math, I want them for language arts. And then if kids didn't have anything they needed to work on, they kind of were just hanging out. So it seemed like a period of time that was not as purposeful as it could be. So we identified all these hurdles. Teachers didn't have access to the band and choir kids that they needed to. That was especially true in 8th grade. The teachers were trying to pull the same kids, and then every day was different. So it wasn't targeted and purposeful. So we decided we could make a little bit better use of that time. So we worked with With Melissa, we met with some schools that utilized foundations classes, and we decided we would put a foundations class or an enrichment class in the place of flex. So we moved band and choir to the related arts period, and that gave us an additional class period to work with. So students who need extra help in language arts, we put in a language arts foundations class. If they need extra help in math, they have a math foundations class. So those students then have 2 language arts classes or 2 math classes a day. So that gave us purposeful time to work with those students. We used iLearn scores to determine who needed to be in those classes. If a student needed both, and we do have some students who need a remediation or an extra time for math and language arts, we prioritized language arts and put them in a language arts foundation, but then put that student in a math teacher homeroom so they would have access to them for assistance. That gave us a really neat opportunity of adding enrichment courses for students who are proficient or higher on both iLearns, get to learn something new. And that's been pretty cool for them. So Foundations is all focused on data-based instruction of math and language arts. That sometimes is reteaching. But with the experienced staff we have, we can make use of that time to do what we call front load, which if we know something difficult is coming up in a grade level class, we can front load it to those kids so they have confidence when it does come up. And then these are all the enrichment courses that we offer during those class periods for students who are proficient or higher on both iLearn, which is pretty cool. The first 3 there, creative writing, public speaking, and engineering and technology, are in 6th grade. The first 2 are semester long. The engineering and tech is a year long with Kyle Basden. Then in 7th grade, we have Instrument Explorers, digital publications, and graphic design. We have Craig Pope working there, Mr. Butler, and Kyle Basden. And then we have, we also have civics and personal finance in 7th grade. And Mr. Schneider in high school teaches that for us, which is very cool. And then in 8th grade, we have engineering essentials, community service, and music exploration. Community service has been wildly popular with the kids and a great life skill for them.
What types of community service do they do, Ms. Lang?
They do some things in the community. They go to nursing homes. Shay Pierce teaches that class, and she can drive a minibus, and so, which is very helpful. So they will go to nursing homes, they will go to parks and do some things like that. They go to Memorial Gym and clean it up, and then they do projects around the school. They did one for, I want to say, the Humane Society, raised some money there. They work in the courtyard. You have a son in that class. Do you remember some things that he did?
I just need him to go back to personal finance because he's not very good with mine.
Oh, you went,
And I was gonna say, didn't,
shall we shuffle that around a little
John and
bit?
Cooper then would be the father-son duo that did community service
You know, there were a lot of
programs.
classroom materials that arrived that were in a lot of boxes, and we didn't have any idea how to get, I mean, it was a massive amount. We didn't know how to get all those moved, and so we had those kids come over and help us. We've had them help them pick up our campus right before we had guests coming on. I know that's a couple other things, so.
They work with our cafeteria. They're doing our recycling program. So they're pretty busy. They also study about different things and do some presentations on those. I had some service dogs that I personally know, well, I know their owners do, not just the dogs, but come in and talk to them about, what service dogs do. And so it's kind of cool. That's a great class. The kids, now they all want to take that, which is even more motivation for them to get proficient or higher on their iLearn. So we started looking at, is this working? So we didn't know, were these foundations classes working? So this is checkpoint 1 data. So iLearn now has 3 small checkpoints leading up to the Big E in the spring. We did, all students took opportunity 1 of checkpoint 1 this year, and that's the scores of the percent proficient on opportunity 1 this year. Then we gave opportunity 2 to the students in those foundations classes after they got some reteaching to see if their scores improved. And that was about 2 weeks apart. And you can see we saw some growth from that. So we saw a pretty significant growth. The average of that growth is 14%. So we were pleased with that to see, just how we're doing this year. So then we also want to track trends. So I put some graphs up here. I like numbers and graphs. But if we just look at the trends, so these are cohorts. So this is comparing the same kid. So the same kid in 5th grade compared to what they do in 6th grade, the same kid in 6th grade compared to 7th. So we just want the red column to be higher than the blue column, and that shows growth with those kids from the previous year. So that's comparing last year's checkpoints to this year's checkpoints. We've only had 2 so far. And in most cases, the red column is higher. So we're pretty pleased with that trend. We are seeing some huge growth in 8th grade. There's a couple of reasons for that. One is 8th grade choir and band. That was a huge group of kids. We had access to none of them before foundations classes. Now we have access to them to get to the kids that we didn't have before. And that group is doing a really, really good job working together and building language arts skills. So we're doing a lot of cross-curricular things in 8th grade as well. So we're really happy. We're just going to keep an eye on this. So we think it's working. Won't know for sure till we get a couple of summatives in there, but we think it's working. And just kind of a sidebar, things we're doing at Southridge Middle School for kids that the traditional school setting is not the best for. Last year, we had 1 student in the middle school in the Alternative Learning Center. That was a student that had we tried to force that student to be in class, he would have shut down and not done well in any of his classes. He ended up doing extremely well in 4 out of 5 of his classes in the Alt Center. We were thrilled with that for him. This year, we have 6 students in the Alternative Center. They are there for a combination of behavior or health issues. So we have a few students that are adjusting to a health improvement program, adjusting medication, maybe don't work well under fluorescent lights. The Alt Center has given them an opportunity to learn. So it's just a few of the things that we're doing at the middle school to try to meet each student's need.
Is that alt school, is that a choice or a referral or?
It can be both. There's a checklist, and that's the same, we use the same one that the high school uses. What we want to make sure that we don't do is lose a kid to an online program that is not Southwest Du Bois. So if they're seeking a homeschool option or an online program like Indiana K through 12, we want to make sure that we offer that here in the district so we don't lose that kid. And so of the kids that are there, 5 of those have chosen to do that for health reasons, and it made sense. One of those, we chose that for him. And he actually just returned. So that really should be 5. So he just returned to the building and is doing extremely well. So we're happy with that. Middle school kids in the Alt Center have to take 5 classes. So it's a little bit different than the high school. They have been 100% online so far. We haven't had any middle school kid that wants to come into the credit recovery room yet, where they would be there half day with mostly high school kids. They've all chosen to be 100% online. And then they have to come in to take the checkpoints, but they've all done that as well. And that is it.
Thank you.
That's the show.
Or you might remember, just getting back to that data that we're just so excited about, and we're seeing that growth as well in our 2 elementary schools. And that was one of the things I talked to you about when you were hiring me, and Melissa and I met early on in the process, and we established a program to start here in this building for the first year and a half. And what we had was we had principals and teachers from all 3 buildings coming here. And what they did was they focused on aligning their curriculum to make sure that what we were teaching was what we're supposed to be teaching. Because sometimes a teacher can get lost in a textbook and just say, this is the lesson, this is a lesson, this is a lesson. And sometimes stuff in the textbook isn't really what we're supposed to be teaching in the state of Indiana. So we really had our teachers dig into that curriculum and make sure that what we're teaching is what we need to be teaching to make sure our kids are ready for these required tests that the state and the federal government gives to us. So then the second thing we started doing, and this year we've really gotten deep into it, is we have our teachers and our principals and the central office, we are studying the data on a regular basis. As you saw with all of Betsy's charts and all that, how are our kids doing? And once we see where the kids' weaknesses are, then we're identifying those weaknesses and we're using that data to we're just trying to be real intentional and strategic with our planning at that point. So you heard Betsy talk about how they've redone their schedule to make sure those kids are getting the time they need to remediate. Same thing has happened. We flipped the schedules in the 2 elementary schools. The principals and teachers doing a great job. We're seeing some nice growth. I think I told you guys about a year ago that our goal is within about 3 years for Southwest to be showing off, how much growth our kids have had, and we will. And we'll be speaking at conferences in the state showing other schools how it should be done. We're really excited. You guys have invested in this for quite a few years with Rhonda Roos coming here, and we're just trying to continue it and make sure we get where we want to be. And having great leaders like this is what helps us get there. So, and teachers who are just really getting after it. And of course, it all comes down to our kids giving forth the effort as well. So we're really proud of everyone. Great job, Betsy. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good job.
Stuff.
Thank you.
Other things listed for recognition, we have high school, middle, each school has things listed that we always like to put for the media. So I know some of our media come in through the online portion, and if you need a copy of the agenda, we can get that to you for some other things we want to draw recognition to. So at this time, I think we're ready to move on, Mr. Menke, to new business.
Okay, letter D, new business, field trip request as listed below for the FFA going to Louisville.
I'll make a motion to approve the field trip request for the FFA going to Louisville.
Made by Schrader,
Second.
and by a bunch. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Number 2, personnel as listed and continuing on for the majority of the next page.
There's a bunch, and I will make a motion to approve the, we're looking at personnel as listed.
Made by Schrader,
I'll second.
second by Bunch. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Before we move on, a couple of things we want to draw attention to here. First of all, we want to certainly acknowledge one of our retirements. Annette Altmeyer will be finishing out the year as our 7th grade math teacher. We saw some of the nice data in her class up there a few minutes ago. Annette will be wrapping up a 35-year career in education, 13 of those here at Southwest Du Bois. So we certainly appreciate all of her time and effort over the years working with our kiddos, and wish her nothing but the best as she goes into retirement after the school year. Also want to draw attention to one of our new hires. And one of our new hires is our new band director. His name is Noah Meese. He'll be replacing our longtime band director that we acknowledged in a retirement recently, Lanny Butler. Noah comes to us from Bar Reeve. And in the interview process, some of the things Noah talked about was a goal of being a part of a larger school. He called a town like Huntingburg and Southridge a dream job that he's had his eye on for quite a while, and he's just thrilled to be a part of us. And we look forward to supporting him, just as we do Eric and Kim and Emily and the teachers that we have, with our arts program, fine arts throughout our district K through 12. We look forward to having Noah come in here and continue to work with our band director and just continue to do some great things in our fine arts programs. We're excited to have him as well. And so that's it for personnel.
Great. Number 3, approve the 2026-2027 Southridge High School course offering. Again, this stuff is in our packets, so if there aren't any questions.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the 2026-27 high school course offerings.
Motion made by Schrader,
I'll second.
by Bunch. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Number 4, approve the purchase of 470 Chromebooks for student device use.
I'll make a motion to approve the purchase of the Chromebooks.
Motion made by Bunch,
I will second.
second by Schrader. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Assuming there aren't any other comments, we will take a motion to adjourn.
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Made by Schrader,
I'll second.
second by Bunch. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Good evening.